Hello YouTubers. If you remember, I was working on this thing in this January, and this is the 91 GMC Sierra K15. Done a lot of work to it, although you couldn't tell. I had an issue back in January where I was cruising down the road and everything just stopped. I guess I lost the ground in my coil and it just completely popped it. So I did everything with the ignition, and I added like 5 extra grounds to my coil. So grounds are very important when it comes to these stupid greasy pigs. Very important. I also ran into another issue a few months later. You drive down the road and it would just completely cut out on you. No warning, no spit, no sputter. But if you pulled over to the side of the road, put it in park, turn the key off all the way and then turn it back on, it'd start right back up. And it drove me nuts. I could not figure out for the life of me what the problem was. So through trial and error, I kept going back through my wiring, going back through everything else. I changed my fuel pump, fuel filter. I went back over my work with the grounds. Could not for the life of me figure out what it was. I was just getting ready to replace the computer. And yes, these do have a computer. It's an OBD1. Just as I was getting ready to change the computer, I went back through and I noticed something. For those of you who work on these things, I'm sure you know what these are. This is the ignition module. I had replaced it back then, but see, there's a problem. On the back here, you don't see any thermal putty. And I put it in just like this because this is the way I got this. There was no dielectric grease in the package. There was nothing. Came just as it was. So when I threw it in, I didn't think about it. Ran for a while, ran good, drove it, kept dying on me. Did a little research, and I didn't find any videos. So I'm trying to make this easier for you guys. But I picked up some thermal paste for computer processors. You definitely don't want to use dielectric grease because it'll just run away. It won't work the way it's supposed to work. And when these things overheat, you lose your ignition completely, and it cuts off until it drops a few degrees. So anywho, I went out on a whim and I put that thermal putty or thermal paste on the other one that I have in there, and here I am 3 or 4 months later, and it has not stalled or died on me at all. So I believe this was the fix, because there was nothing else that could be wrong that I could find. So for those of you who are having the same problem, it'll also throw a code 42, which will say open ground, thermal paste. Take it out, clean it with 91% alcohol, the surface and this. Apply all the way across this metal backing part, everything. And immediately put it in there, tighten it down, plug it back in. You probably won't have that issue no more. So anywho, hope this video helps you. Good luck.